Welcome to Garage Gym Athlete Cool Downs. These episodes are short, actionable podcasts pulled from previous interviews and content we've been publishing for the last several years. So go for a walk, hop on the rower, or clip into the bike for this cool down episode.
Yeah, so the strategy that I think is really useful, or maybe counterintuitive, depending on how you've approached goal setting and habits in the past, it's best to tell with a little story. So Southwest Airlines is a very popular airline today, and then they started in the 70s and 80s, and they had this period of growth where they were doing very well, all the way through the mid-90s. And during this period of time, a lot of airline companies were really struggling. They weren't doing well. Most of them were going bankrupt or losing money each year. Southwest was posting a profit year after year. So in 1996, Southwest was like the hot airline, and everybody wanted them to move to their city. All these airports were clamoring for Southwest to come. So I believe in 1996, they had over 100 different cities that said, Southwest, we would like you to extend service to our airport. And this is a great business problem to have, right? Like everybody wants to be able to grow quickly, have all sorts of options. And so you would think that they would say, all right, let's jump on this, right? Let's take advantage of this growth period. Similar to how if you were, lifting in the gym and all of a sudden you were able to throw up to 100 more pounds on the bar, you'd be like, yes, let me take full advantage of this, right? Well, what they ended up doing was something the complete opposite. They only expanded to 4 new cities in 1996. And this story, which I first heard from Jim Collins, I think he may mention in his book, Great by Choice. The reason that Southwest, according to Collins at least, was able to sustain this growth year after year and continue to improve is that they set an upper limit for their growth. And this is the exact opposite of how we often think about improving. If you think about a lot of health goals, for example, we often set a lower limit, a lower bound for our behavior. I want to lose at least 20 pounds in the next 4 months, or I want to bench press at least 50 pounds more this year, or I want to run at least 3 miles when I get home from work today. It's all about the lower limit. And the implication is, if you can do more than that, then of course you should try to do more, right? To at least hit this number, but if you can get the more out of that, then go ahead and push yourself. But what Southwest is doing is saying, no, we have a huge opportunity ahead of us, but we're only going to grow to 4 cities. We're not going to do more than that. And this idea of setting an upper bound for your behavior is the opposite of what society tells us and this ambitious goal setting idea and, chasing everything that you can get. But it's great for building processes and systems and habits that stick. And so when it comes to building a process that will lead you to somewhere more significant in the future, I think it's more important to focus on the upper bound rather than the lower bound. I'll give you one example. A reader of mine named Mitch, he ended up losing over 100 pounds over the course of a year or two. Awesome. And when he added exercise into his routine, he told himself, all right, I have to go to the gym 5 days a week, but I'm not allowed to stay for more than 5 minutes. So he would show up, and when it got to 6 minutes, he would leave. And he did this for over 4 weeks, so those first 4 to 6 weeks that he was in the gym. And eventually it got to the point where he was like, I'm coming here all the time. I kind of feel like staying longer, which is the exact opposite of how most people feel when they're trying to add, some type of new fitness habit in, right? They're focused on, all right, I really got to push myself. I'm so out of shape. I need to stay here for 45 minutes and, really focus and grind so that I can, lose this weight or get in shape or whatever. But what Mitch was focused on, and this is the important sort of punchline to all this, he was focused on building the behavior first and letting the results come later. Most of us are focused on getting the results as fast as possible, and we forget to take the time to build the behavior. We aren't patient enough to say, all right, let me just do 5 minutes of work for the first few weeks. And even if I feel like that isn't going to make a difference at all, I'm going to become the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. And I know that if I'm the type of person who doesn't miss workouts, then eventually I can become the type of person who works out for 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour or however long. But it's only by focusing on building the behavior first and putting the results later that you can do that. If you try to get the results right away or go as fast as possible, then you never give yourself the opportunity to build the habit and the behavior that you need to make long-term progress.
Thanks for listening to today's Cool Down. If for some ridiculous reason you are not subscribed to Garage Gym Athlete Programming, fix that problem right now. Go to garagegymathlete.com, sign up for a free trial, get started with us today. Thanks for listening.